All right, friends, this is Donnie,
And Sandra.
and we are going to go through another ghost story from one of the counties that we're visiting. And we are visiting Gaston County, North Carolina. And for those of you that don't know, we are attempting to stay at least one night in all 100 counties in North Carolina. And we like to share the fun facts and some of the neat places we go. And we also like to share urban legends and ghost stories and stuff. That's one of my favorites. But the location that we're at, it is a harvest host. And for those of you in the RV community, if you're interested in coming out, you want to look for Lake Wiley / South Fork. It's in Belmont, North Carolina. And they have one spot. It does have electric and sewer. And so be looking for that review on my channel. Just check it out, and you'll be able to see more about it. You can kind of plan your trip if you want to come out. But in this one here, I was able to find one ghost story, and it kind of rabbit trailed into some other stuff, and we're going to talk about that. But this one here is called the Haunted Spencer Mountain. The Haunted Spencer Mountain. I don't believe I told you anything about this one, did I?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So Sandra's going to learn some new things on this one too. And guys, I did try to get in contact with a website, the owner of a website, to see if I could procure me some pictures of the location that I'm talking about, a specific house. And I was not able to get a response from them. So I'm going to direct you to them here in just a minute. I'll tell you where you can go if you want to see the house that is actually in question. But the details is it's a house called the Farr Mansion. The Farr Mansion. That's P-H-A-R-R Mansion. And this is the information that I was able to glean. And I actually got this information here from, it's called Scary HQ. If you go to the website, it's called Scary HQ. Research Haunted Places by Jane Lewis. And she's the lead content creator. And but it's called A Haunted Location, Spencer Mountain in Gastonia, North Carolina. And but it says this is where it goes. There is a mansion located at the end of the road. It was built in the late 1700s. No one has ever lived in the house. This lady that owned Farr Yarns built it for her grandson. He died shortly after she built it. Since he died, she said no one could live in it. The town has since tried to make it a haunted house, and the proceeds go to the local fire department. Rumor is 2 men and a woman haunts it. People that work upstairs have seen and heard stuff to where they have ran out of the house, white as a ghost, and breathing as though someone was trying to kill them. They have reported seeing a woman upstairs, get this, holding a baby's head in one hand and another head in the other.
Oh my gosh, that's scary as...
I know.
Oh,
now I can see why they're running out. It says people have been going downstairs and heard someone following them and turned around to see no one. Also reports of pictures in one of the upstairs room just fall off the wall as if someone was knocking them off. I guess pictures, falling off the wall. Now, that is the legit of the story. Now, there, as I'm talking about this, there is going to be some GPS overlays on where this location is, where it's actually talking about. And so there's not that many people that live there at all. It's kind of like a abandoned area. There's just not that many. It's not built up. But this is that location. You guys will see it actually on the screen as I'm talking, and so I had to go through a few websites before I could zero in on the exact location. And what I did is I did a street view. I did a street view to also see if I could actually locate that house. I could find it.
Is it still
And so
standing?
I could still say, we're going to talk about that. Okay, so this was an update in 2008. It is all boarded up with no trespassing signs, and the driveway is blocked off. You can see a small parking strip along the main road as you turn right off of, it's called Ranlo Spencer Road. It's Ranlo Spencer Road. It's not even a mansion, it's a two-story house. Now, the picture that I saw of the house, it's pretty good size. I would personally, I'd consider it a mansion.
Well, maybe
I mean,
back
it's
then
big.
that was considered a mansion, but now houses have gotten so big that, yeah.
It's true. That's probably true. It says there is a bay window and a small balcony with a black wrought iron railing. It does look very eerie at night, and you will hear sounds outside the place. You will hear wind around the house when there is no wind to be detected. And so now, if you guys want to see pictures of this house, go to Strange Carolinas. Strange Carolinas. That's www.strangecarolinas.com, and you will see this house. And so just look for the Pharr House. That's Pharr House. And so they have a some postings of the house. And so that is going to be the only way you're going to be able to see this house. Even if you go to the location, you won't see the house, because in August 16th of 2018, they tore it down.
Oh.
They demolished it. And so and you can see other information on this house on the Strange Carolina. But what I learned from them is that the location was called Spencer Mountain Mansion, the Pharr Yarns Mansion, and the Old Love House. The old mansion sat abroad where the old Spencer Mountain Cemetery used to sit. In fact, the entire hillside from Pharr Boulevard all the way to Ranlo Spencer Mountain Road was once a final resting place for many unforgotten souls. Lights randomly turn on and off for no reason. Batteries in equipment last for only minutes. Voices talking when no one else is there. Music playing when there is no power turned on. Tools being moved from one place to another. Someone walking around upstairs when no one else is there. Children laughing. Cold spots throughout the mansion, mostly upstairs in the basement, and much more. And so that is the information that I have on this particular mansion. Now, the reason that what is kind of wild is that when I was doing research on it, I found out that that location in that general area is also considered a ghost town. And so I got on, if you guys go to the www.Gaston Gazette, I'll have a link in the description below. For my YouTubers and for my Rumble people and for my Facebook people, I'll put a link in the description above for this this Gaston Gazette, because they talk about this ghost town, and so, but this is the highlights from that Gaston Gazette about Gaston. They call it, the name of the article is called Gaston's Own Ghost Town. Gaston's Own Ghost Town. This is in October 30th of 2015. It says, in Spencer Mountain, there is a no trespassing sign every few feet. The remnants of demolished homes rest in the mountain's scenic hills. Streets still identified on maps no longer exist. Their traffic signs moldy alongside overgrown blacktop, and the most haunting image of Gaston's Own Ghost Town, the abandoned mansion. Of course, that mansion is the one that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. It has to be the one that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. That one's gone. It's gone. It's no longer in existence. There are only 2 residents in the town. Now, this is by, I don't know if anything has changed from 2015, but from this article's time, there was only 2 people that lived in the town. Just 2. They live in one house, a parsonage beside Spencer Mountain Baptist Church. Otherwise, a closed gas station and the abandoned mansion are the only standing structures in the town limits. Most of the property is owned by the yarn manufacturing company Far Yarns and the Catawba Land Conservancy. At one time, the mountain was a flurry of activity with 300 residents, still a small town. In the 320-acre town, it was a mill town, home to water-powered textile mill, originally named the Wilson and Monroe Cotton Mill when it opened in 1874. The mill switched ownership 3 times in the following years before being bought by Far Yarns in 1957. The state listen to this. This is what's really neat. The state still considers Spencer Mountain an active town that has a working government. Get that? It has a working government.
For 2 people?
Although no one fills the positions. No one fills the positions. It gets better. It gets better. Trust me. Spencer Mountain has vacancies for a mayor and 3 councilmen. No one is running or has run for any of the offices in 4 years. Now, this was back in 2015, said Adam Reagan, director of the Gaston County Board of Elections. If one of the 2 active voters decides to write in his or her name, that person will get the job. I wonder what it pays. Can you imagine only being the 2 residents in this town and you're the mayor?
Why do they need it, though?
They did
Well,
consider.
obviously they don't, because nobody's doing the job.
It's the coolest thing. I think it's the coolest thing. My thing would be, what's the pay? That's what. What's the pay? And it goes on to say, Reagan knows the 2 residents by name. Who wouldn't? It says every year on election day, he prints out 10 ballots for the town at a cost of $1.60. Spencer Mountain shares a polling place with the neighboring town, Ranlow. No one from Spencer Mountain voted in the last municipal or federal election. The town has no tax rate and hasn't since 2011. Far Yarns, which owns most of the mountain's property, doesn't have any plans for the lots, Clay said, but the developer thinks the land has immense potential. It's beautiful property up there on the river, but it's not yet ready to be developed, he said. It doesn't have water or sewer utilities, and that's what drives development. And so I will admit that, that is a problem. And you and I have seen that in places that we visited where they'll just abandon property because of the water, the plumbing issues and stuff like that. And so they'll just abandon it. Properties that are worth, that one in Virginia, just across the Virginia line, that was worth, well, God, about $1 million. They just abandoned it because of the plumbing issues. And so, but guys, that is the information that I have about this ghost story in this ghost town. And so, very unique. And so, I will say this, it is being watched, and there's not really much there. And so the pictures that I saw, there's just not much to see. But I just think that's just a fascinating thing, how there's only 2 residents in the town, and yet it still has positions to be filled for the mayor and the 3 councilmen. That's just fascinating.
Well, they don't even have enough people to fill those positions.
Yeah, it's just amazing. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Please be looking out for our next one. We are headed to Lincoln County right after we stay at this county, and we have several ghost stories to go over in that county. But you guys take care.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.